Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So today I wanted to talk to you about Acura's Adaptive Cruise Control as well as their lane keep assist system. I want to show you a video of me actually using the system because even for me who's had this car for over a couple of years now, or almost a couple of years, I learned something new. I don't use this feature too often, however I wanted to show you something that I just learned. And the thing that I learned that surprised me is that the system actually deactivates very quickly if you don't put your hand on the steering wheel when it gives you the warning saying, hey, put your hand on the steering wheel. This is obviously a safety feature that Acura wants to make sure that you're not falling asleep at the wheel and that you're not just sitting there driving and not paying attention to the road. So this is a safety feature that they put in place, but it is kind of annoying in the sense of how quickly it deactivates the lane keep assist system. And that was something that I learned relatively recently. And the whole time I actually thought that, hey, their system is not that great because it constantly takes me off of the lane. But it was doing that because it actually didn't detect my hands on the steering wheel. And there's a slight nuance that you have to pay attention to carefully on your dash to be able to see when it's actually activated and when it's not activated, and I'll show you here in a second how you can tell. You know, a lot of the newer cars, including our Acura RDX as well as our Hyundai Palisade, have a bunch of advanced safety features. Acura's safety system is called Acura Watch, and it includes 4 different things. It includes the Adaptive Cruise Control, it includes the Lane Keep Assist system, the Collision Mitigation Braking system, and it also includes the Road Departure Mitigation system. So these are the 4 things that are included in Acura's safety feature, or what they call Acura Watch. Before I get into the video about the Adaptive Cruise Control, if you're interested in the RDX, check out my other videos where I show how I did a chrome delete using vinyl wrap. I also show how I hardwired my dash cam to the fuse box. So if you guys are interested in that, check out those videos too. So there's 2 ways that Acura is able to utilize their Acura Watch system. One is through radar. The radar is actually located behind the main Acura emblem in the front grille. It's directly behind that. You can't see it from the outside, but there's actually a radar there. Secondly, there's a camera that's close to the rear view mirror. Now, these 2 things work in perfect weather conditions. However, if it's snowing outside, it can cause issues as it can block the radar or block the view of the camera. All right, so let's go ahead and see how to activate the system. If you go ahead and hit the main button while you're driving, these 2 acronyms will pull up, ACC for Adaptive Cruise Control and LKAS for the Lane Keep Assist system. So that's your main cruise control button. This button right here will activate the lane departure mitigation system, and as you can see, those lines are not solid, meaning that it does not recognize the lines. If it's solid, that means it actually recognizes the lines, and so then it'll actually be activated. This button right here determines the length between your car and the car in front of you. You can set it at either 4, 3, 2, or 1 car lengths between you and the car in front of you. So right now we're in the 2019 RDX, and we'll test out to see how good of a job this car does in terms of the Adaptive Cruise Control and specifically the Lane Keep Assist system, or the LKAS system as Honda abbreviates it. It's always great being right behind a garbage truck because you can always smell the nice aroma coming from the car or the garbage truck in front of you. And it's always a bonus too if some trash flies out of the truck and hits you in the car. That's just an added bonus. Hopefully that's not the case today. Fingers crossed. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on right now. So I'm going to go ahead and set it. Alright, now there's some solid white lines, so it does recognize that there are some lanes here. And I'm going to go ahead and, not yet because there's a car right behind me and almost hit me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and try and let my hands go and see how good of a job it does. As you can see, or hopefully you can see, It's keeping me within the lanes right now on this gradual turn, so that's good. I have it at 64 miles per hour. Set my cruise control. Speed, don't worry, speed limit is 65, so I'm going within there. So right now it's actually doing a pretty good job of keeping me in the lane. I'm gonna keep my arms here, or my hands here, pretty close to the wheel, just because you never know. But right now we're doing a gradual turn, and it's keeping me in the lane. So it's doing a pretty good job so far. Of course, okay, so now it didn't, because there was an off ramp, and so I had to put my hands back on because it actually was about to take me off of the off ramp. And I don't think it recognized the faint white dotted lines. All right, so now we're back on track. So again, now we're at 70 miles, so let's go ahead and increase the speed to 69. The speed limit is 70 miles an hour. I'm going 69. This is filmed on YouTube, so this is public, so I don't want to go crazy here, but I'm going to be a rebel here and take it exactly up to the speed limit. So shh, we're at 70 miles an hour now. So right now the steering is flashing, steering required again, it's beeping, and so what it does is after that, if it doesn't recognize it, it automatically turns off the lane keep assist. So what I noticed is the solid white lines turn to basically hollow white lines, or the solid white lines turn into not just outlines of the lines, saying that, hey, this guy's hands are not on the steering wheel, I'm going to go ahead and take it off of the lane keep assist mode. So I think that's Honda's kind of safety feature, I guess, that if it recognizes that your hands are not on the steering wheel, and after it gives you the warning, it's still not, then it'll automatically take you off of the lane keep assist. So the solid white lines will actually turn into just regular outlines, indicating that it's not actually active. So right now I have some cars coming up. Let's see how it does with the adaptive cruise control. I'm at 69 right now, but with these cars coming up in front of me, I'll probably have to slow down. It's making me slow down. Now I'm probably about 64, and I'm getting pretty close to this truck. See, this is some abrupt braking right now. Not abrupt, but now I'm down to about 55 miles. It's still keeping me within the lane, which is good. And again, so I learned something new today. So I learned that once it starts giving you a warning saying to put your hand on the steering wheel, after about 4 or 5 flashes, it actually turns off the lane keep assist system. And you can see that where the solid lines turn into not solid lines, just an outline. So it just did it again right now. After it flashes about 4 or 5 times, then it actually turns off the lane keep assist. Then it actually turns off the LKAS system. I was never a big fan of cruise control prior to this car. When you had the old cruise control, you just kind of set it and forget it. I was never a big fan of that because, again, I'd have to constantly brake or turn it off and turn it back on again if there were cars in front of me, or if I was trying to pass cars. And so for me, I'm just the type of driver that likes to be in control. And so I was never a big fan of that. But once I got this car, and once the adaptive cruise control came along, as well as the lane keep assist, oh, it was so much better in terms of actually using it and in terms of actually being helpful. You know, most people, I don't think they realize just how stressful driving can be. I would do drives in the past, that were easily 10 hours plus. When I was living away for several years, I would do drives that were anywhere between 9 to 11 hours one way. And me being the type of person that I am, I always wanted to get that drive done in one shot. I would never break up the drive. So this is a long time ago, before kids, but so I would be able to do it. But you're tense because you're driving, you're focusing on the road, you're focusing on your speed, you're trying to make sure that there's no speed traps. There's a lot of things that are going on, and so it's actually pretty stressful. And I could tell I would be tense because when I would let go of the steering wheel, either my hands would be somewhat, clammy or sweaty, or they would hurt from gripping the steering wheel so hard. But the adaptive cruise control, what that helps with is that now you can actually just kind of not hold the steering wheel as tightly as before. I mean, obviously you still want to pay attention and look at the road, but then obviously, you don't have to worry too much about speed traps. If you have your cruise control set at a reasonable speed limit or speed within the speed limit, you don't have to worry about a car slowing down in front of you, because you can it'll automatically adjust for that. And again, you don't have to hold the steering wheel so tight because it'll automatically steer for you. So you can now just lightly have your hands on the steering wheel and make small adjustments here and there, or when it gives you the warning to make sure to put your hands on the steering wheel, you could do that. And so it just makes it so much easier now and so much less, I don't want to say stressful, but I guess in a way it is less stressful driving long road trips, where you're not as tense driving those road trips. You can be a little bit more relaxed. And I definitely noticed that when we did our trip to Nashville, which there's a video on. You can see when we did our trip to the Gaylord Opryland during Thanksgiving of 2019. That's a great resort, by the way, so check out that video. It was great, especially to go during the Christmas season. But we did that drive, and that drive, there's a lot of hills going through some of the mountains as you could go through Kentucky, but it was very doable because of the cruise control, because of the newer cruise control. So I definitely felt like it helped then, and I definitely am using the function a lot more now than I was in the past. If you guys found this video helpful, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon.